Hello everybody and welcome back to another video here on Internet Nobodies. I'm your host, James, and you may be thinking, hey, it's Wednesday, shouldn't this be a TGRS video? I mean, you'd be right, but you're wrong, because I didn't have anything ready. So, why not? Pikmin 3 Deluxe has just been released at the time of writing the script. At this point it's been out for quite a while, and I am in love with it. The small tweaks to the original game, coupled with the wishes of a new game that preferably has been in development longer than Metroid 4, gets my creative juices flowing. I don't really have a lot of idea on how to format this, so I will just do it like this. I will give a few ideas for things to add, and add a few ideas on things to change or remove altogether. I'm going to be as positive as possible though. This isn't a critique on the previous games or a review or anything. This is just a wish list for what I would want. So let's get into it. This week here on TGRS, I'm your host, James, and let's put on our creativity caps for a few minutes and make Pikmin 4. So I will set this up by doing an idea, and then a change, then an idea, and then so on. So first will be new Pikmin types. This is pretty self-explanatory. Each Pikmin game has had new Pikmin, to one extent or another, circling the main cast of the red, yellow, and blue Pikmin. Pikmin 2 introduces the strong and slow purples and the speedy and poisonous white Pikmin. Then Pikmin 3 gave us rock Pikmin that have a lot of throwing damage and can't be smushed, and flying Pikmin that say fuck you to the level design. Now, I'm not quite smart enough to come up with something quite as interesting as those, but hear me out. So this will go into level design and obstacles a little bit. But what if there was a kangaroo-type Pikmin that could permanently carry a building block of some sort? In a level, you can only have enough resources to build, let's say, 3 bridges, but there are places for 5 of them. So you can use these kangaroo Pikmin to almost carry the bridges with you. Let them carry a few pieces at once. This can also make them ideal for building bridges and carrying back multiple grapes or something at once, giving them more uses. Since they are overpowered for building, maybe limit the amount of damage they do or even restrict them from attacking anyways, or maybe just when their pouches are full. My first change would be going back to the 2-captain system. Pikmin 3 has 3 captains, and there are many instances, at least in my experience, when only 2 captains are actively being used in challenge, even in the challenge mode. Sometimes I just keep a captain at base to summon all of the Pikmin back when sunset is coming, or just keeping them there to ferry around extras if needed. 2 captains seem to be the ideal, especially with the Go Here system that Pikmin 3 added, which is a huge game changer. My next addition would be larger levels. Pikmin levels tend to feel way too small, especially in Pikmin 3 when you can have the characters move to areas you need them with the push of a button. Maybe increase map size by at least double, maybe even 3 times. But a way to help with this is having more than one landing location for the base. If you can pick an area which to land, that might be more advantageous for that day, would be kinda awesome. And could help with making replays a little more unique by giving more choice. An even wilder change would be allowing one captain to land at each base, maybe with 2 onions as well so you can attack the level right away from 2 spots. Almost making it 2 levels at once, and then you can have both captains explore the whole level and clear everything out. I mean, that one is kind of wishful thinking, but the larger levels part, I like that one. My next change would be going back to the treasures of Pikmin 2. Pikmin 1 saw you collecting ship parts, which was cool, but I think there are only so many of those there can be. Pikmin 3 has you collecting fruit, which has a narrative and gameplay advantage by allowing you to build up your amount available over your playtime. But Pikmin 2 has the most unique collectibles. There were fruits, and suit parts, and toys, and pickle lids. Now, I'm not saying that we go back to the Dr. Pepper bottle caps, but honestly, I kinda stopped caring about the new fruit in Pikmin 3. I mean, apart from just collecting everything. Maybe have them land on a new planet with its own, fallen society and everything. Or maybe have them collect treasures from a fictional ancient tribe on PNF 404 again. My final addition would be some sort of rewind function. Now, this can be very, very easy to fuck up, but hear me out. Sometimes when playing, there will be times when you accidentally blow up all your Pikmin, or they get crushed, or they drown, or whatever. Pikmin are fragile, they will die from basically anything. What if alongside the ultra spicy spray and the bitter spray from Pikmin 2, there is a third spray, or other grindable collectible, that will allow you to redo the last 15 seconds like it never happened? You can grind berries in Pikmin 3 for the spicy spray, so maybe make it where you need 30 or even like 50 berries for a single use of this magic spray. And, if I be so bold as to mention Devil May Cry here, the older games in the series have usable green and purple stars that will give you more health or Devil Trigger when you need it, at the expense of maybe some overarching score for the day. Now, this is an idea in and of itself. I haven't really thought it through that much, but it could be interesting. Getting scores for every day, maybe mark it by how many Pikmin you've sprouted versus how many you've died, versus how many treasures you've collected, I don't know. The only real downside to this is the fact that there are days in the games where you sacrifice a day to set everything up, so the next day or two you can go through and collect basically everything. This is why I would have a hard time suggesting it gets implemented, because you can foreseeably do just as much progress in 2 different days, but you only collect treasure in the second day. My final change would be bringing back all of the suit upgrades. I know this can be part of the additions list, but I figured it would make sense since Pikmin 2 had a lot of upgrades. And really, it was kinda awesome. Pikmin 3 only had a few suit upgrades, one of which adds a dodge, which honestly never gets used, and the others are just armor upgrades, essentially so you take less damage from enemies or you can touch fire. But in Pikmin 2, there was a speed upgrade you could get, or the Pluckaphone, which lets you pluck Pikmin by whistling at them. Adding these back, and maybe some others, would be a great way to show more progression for your captains and would keep things somewhat fresh. So those are my ideas for Pikmin 4. You may agree with me, which is great, you may disagree, which is great too, but this isn't your video, so be quiet. Please leave any suggestions you have for Pikmin 4 down below, and if you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe if you have not already. With any luck, Nintendo isn't that far on Pikmin 4, so all of these can be added with very little issue, but Nintendo doesn't watch our content. Capcom does though. I know Itsuno released Devil May Cry 5 for me, I know he did. So I know I'm releasing this on a TGRS day, but honestly, this little series here isn't really going to be like a one-off. I have a few more ideas regarding what could be implemented into hopeful sequels for other games. Like, I have a bunch for a DMC Devil May Cry 2, a Prototype 3, and a PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale 2. Please leave more ideas for other games too, I mean, I'd be happy to hear them. Thank you again for watching, and we will see you all next week for Terrell's video, which is probably gonna be an actual review. We'll see.